All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from Pro Wrestling Mid-America. We are live in the Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas, and already Neil Lau and Solo Promoter have shown up here at the Sportatorium for tonight's action, deep in the heart of Texas. And in our main event, it will be the Macho Man Randy Savage defending the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Championship against the popular opponent Diamond Dallas Page. So it should be a great main event between those two. Also on the line tonight, the PWMA Tag Team Championship as the Vachons, the champions, Mad Dog Vachon and Butcher Paul Vachon, are here in Dallas to take on the challengers of Danny Hodge and Wilbur Snyder in tag team competition. Also tonight, the Pro Wrestling Mid-America debut of Sergeant Slaughter, who just signed a contract to come to Texas after a successful run up in the northeast part of the country. Now, before we went to the air, we did have a couple of preliminary matches. Big Scott Hall, in our opening contest, got a very tightly fought victory over Nikita Koloff with a leg drop. The tag team of Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson looked great, picking up a victory over the previous PWMA Tag Team Champions Magnum TA and Brad Armstrong, when Stan Hansen put away Brad Armstrong with the lariat. Derek Bauman now joining us in the chat room. And just before we came to air, a very impressive performance by Terry Funk, picking up a dominant victory over Antonino Roca with the spinning toe hold. Also in attendance tonight, much to the surprise of the fans here in Dallas and around the Heartland, in attendance tonight is this man, Hercules Hernandez. And if you were with us last week, you will know that Hercules was the surprise winner of the 2025 Buckeye Bowl. Hercules was a wild card entrant. He is not currently signed to the Heartland, does not have a territorial affiliation as of yet. Entered the Buckeye Bowl at number 3 as a wild card entrant, and survived 29 other men, putting the great Malenko over the top rope and out of the ring to win the Buckeye Bowl and earn himself a shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So it will be Pat Patterson facing off against Hercules Hernandez on February 8th at our next Hype event. But until then, Hercules can do whatever he wants. And he drew the attention of Jimmy Hart, who tried to chat up Hercules at ringside. Also Nikita Koloff, the leader of the Pro Wrestling Mid-America chapter of the Justice for All faction, also paid a visit with Hercules Hernandez. But Hercules didn't look like he was here to make any friends, whether it be someone of the stellar character of Nikita Koloff or the shady character of Jimmy Hart. So all of the interest in Hercules Hernandez here tonight was unrequited in Dallas. And with that, we are ready for tonight's opening televised contest. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a tag team attraction. It is scheduled for one fall, with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. Introducing first, team number 1, standing at 5'10", weighing 230 pounds, out of San Francisco, California. This is the Crippler, Ray Stevens. And his tag team partner hails from Beverly Hills, California. Standing at 6'1", weighing 245 pounds, this is Nick BOCKWINKEL. BOCKWINKEL, of course, a native of Beverly Hills. And interestingly, the California folks have been affected by these wildfires. Grant, it's great to see you here. Hope everything is well with you out on the West Coast. And their opponents. First, out of Billings, Montana, he stands at 6'4" and weighs 353 pounds. This is Gary ALBRIGHT. And his tag team partner stands at 6'2" and weighs 275 pounds. Out of Norman, Oklahoma, this is the one and only Boomer Sooner, Dr. Death Steve Williams. All right, so a couple of Double Tough tag teams here to start things off, as Williams and ALBRIGHT take on Ray the Crippler Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel. And I believe, if I'm correct, this may be Gary ALBRIGHT's first appearance here in a YouTube broadcast, as he has recently entered the Heartland and teamed up with Dr. Death Steve Williams. And it will indeed be Gary ALBRIGHT starting things off against the venerable and the widely respected Nick Bockwinkel. Things are okay. We're safe from the current fires. A lot of smoke. The air quality isn't great, but we've been lucky. Thanks. Okay, good to hear that, Grant. Thank you for the update. And it will be, oh my goodness, it is a shenanigans roll right from the get-go here in tag team action to kick off the show. And it will be mayhem brought to you by Gary ALBRIGHT. And on a roll of 5-2 is the wrestler Quick. And of these two men, Bockwinkel is the quicker. So we go with no wrestler not fast enough to dodge big blow by opponent. Opponent scores 1 point. So we will give Nick Bockwinkel the advantage on level 2 offense to start the opening match. And now Bockwinkel with a drop toe hold takes Gary ALBRIGHT down to the mat. ALBRIGHT follows that up with a big back suplex. Already he's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 3. And on a roll of 4, ALBRIGHT just barely kicks out. As we get our fatigue counters in play here. And Bockwinkel on level 3 offense is going to go to the Bockwinkel Sleeper. The Bockwinkel Sleeper has been applied. This is a +2 finisher. The finish roll here would be a 6, and that means Dr. Death has got to make the pin save. And on a roll of 11, on the pin save, it is Dr. Death hitting the ring, as well as Ray Stevens hitting the ring, and a wild brawl erupts between all 4 wrestlers. So give ALBRIGHT a point of fatigue, take away a pin save. And now we will resolve the wild brawl roll. Double disqualification 4. This will be a one-time roll. 4 or lower will be a double DQ. And sure enough, there it is. On a roll of 3, it is a double DQ. As Steve Williams came into the ring and started wreaking havoc. And is disqualified. A double disqualification in our opening match. And what will be the implications of that? We go to the disqualification tables. Let's see, do I have a disqualification table in my new chart updates? It appears that I do. And this is going to go to a post-match brawl. And the post-match brawl roll of 10 is a 4-way brawl between all 4 of these men. We go to the gut check roll. And on the gut check roll, oh my goodness, Williams and ALBRIGHT dominate the brawl against Bockwinkel and Stevens. So Williams comes in and cleans house and takes names, and especially puts a beating on Nick Bockwinkel. And as a result of that beating, it is going to be Bockwinkel having to be taken out with the assistance of Heartland trainers, as Steve Williams put a beating on Nick Bockwinkel, and there will be a follow-up match between these two in a grudge match situation. So, wow, fireworks right from the start here, as Nick Bockwinkel takes a beating from Williams. And those two will lock horns in a grudge match. So double disqualification, no winners here in our opening contest. Except for the fans here in Dallas who loved every second of that action. And of course, the fans are always the winners when it comes to Heartland Championship Wrestling. We always do try to take care of our fans. And we will get to see Nick Bockwinkel and Dr. Death Steve Williams in a grudge match somewhere down the line here in Pro Wrestling Mid-America. But that brings us to our next contest. This should be an intriguing matchup. The following contest, ladies and gentlemen, is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit, and disqualification rules will be in effect. Introducing first, he stands at 5'11", weighs 255 pounds, out of Marieville, Quebec, Canada. It is wrestling's worst nightmare, Kevin Steen. And his opponent, making his Pro Wrestling Mid-America debut out of Parris Island, South Carolina. He stands at 6'4" and weighs 305 pounds. This is Sergeant Slaughter. So yes, indeed, Wild Night already in the Heartland. Neil Lau, Wild Times in Velvet and Style. 8 names signed to the show, and solo promoter looking for an update from Neil as to where he gets the money to sign all of these competitors. And yeah, do keep us up to date, Neil. Always appreciate the updates from around the various federations in the Filsinger universe. So, Sergeant Slaughter to take on Kevin Steen. Kevin Steen has been somewhat at the center of, I wouldn't say controversy, but certainly a lot of activity, as he was put out of wrestling for a number of months as a result of an attack by the members of Whatever We Want. And upon Steen's return, he tried to rejoin the battle with Whatever We Want, but could not really find any consistent or reliable reinforcements from among the Justice for All faction. Nikita Koloff has been running his own recovery from his own injuries as a result of that war. Bret Hitman Hart is in pursuit of the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Championship. And so Steen has grown somewhat frustrated with his mates in the faction once previously known as Justice for All. And now he's got Sergeant Slaughter to face off with in Sergeant Slaughter's Heartland Patriot Pro Wrestling Mid-America debut. I spoke too soon, and Neil Lau announces high ticket prices as the source of his revenue to generate the contracts for all of the great talent in Velvet and Style wrestling promotions. So here we go, Sergeant Slaughter to take on Kevin Steen. The opening initiative role is won by Sergeant Slaughter, and he is going to come right out with an attempt at a turnbuckle slingshot. One of the moves made famous by Sergeant Slaughter. That is a choice B maneuver. So he can either go for an agility roll of 8 or lower, or a turnbuckle B. And he's going to go for the agility roll, 8 or lower. And on a 4, he hits it. And Steen is hurt by that. So the turnbuckle slingshot off the opening lockup, and Sergeant Slaughter is in control. And now a big body slam attempted by Sergeant Slaughter, but Steen hits the reversal. And Steen coming back on the offense with a whip to the turnbuckle of his own. Sergeant Slaughter saddled with a turnbuckle rating of C. And on a roll of 8, it is a big kick by Kevin Steen that stuns Sergeant Slaughter. Kevin Steen in control. And Steen now with a whip to the ropes. Slaughter coming off the ropes. And on a roll of 7, it is a running back elbow delivered by Kevin Steen that again stuns Sergeant Slaughter. Another whip to the ropes from Steen, and another running back elbow delivered by Steen. And Sergeant Slaughter knows that he is in for a battle here tonight in Dallas. And now it is just a bite to the face. Kevin Steen biting Sergeant Slaughter Sergeant Slaughter not very happy about that at all. And now Steen with a big fisherman buster onto the knee. And it is Slaughter rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Both these men A-rated brawlers on the arena floor. We'll see what happens here. And on a roll of 4, it is Sergeant Slaughter who wins the brawl and body slams Kevin Steen onto the arena floor. So Sergeant Slaughter turning the tide here after the heinous biting attack by Kevin Steen. And now Slaughter is in control with a backbreaker drop, and Steen is down. Can Sergeant Slaughter get the Cobra Clutch? No, he is going to go for a vertical suplex. This is a choice H maneuver. And on choice H, we can either go agility 8 or lower, or a death jump roll of B. And Slaughter is going to go up for a death jump. And on a roll of 10, that is going to be successful. That is the agility struggle. Both these men at 0 agility. So it is Sergeant Slaughter winning the battle at the turnbuckle and taking Kevin Steen down to the mat with a flying clothesline. And now Slaughter with the Slaughter Cannon coming off the middle turnbuckle and nailing Kevin Steen. Slaughter maintains control, and we go out of the ring once again. And this time on a roll of 10, it is Sergeant Slaughter again winning the brawl on the arena floor. And this time it is going to be with the help of a foreign object taking place. So Sergeant Slaughter with a steel chair on Kevin Steen. Will we see a disqualification here? We will not, as the chair has come into play. And Steen and Slaughter are already brawling. And now it is another vertical suplex attempted by Sergeant Slaughter. We're going to go back to that death jump roll. And again, Sergeant Slaughter gets him over and down to the canvas. What's Sarge going to do here? Again, he's going up for another death jump roll. And this time it is Steen who catches Sergeant Slaughter and throws Sergeant Slaughter down to the canvas. Steen with the reversal on the third try. And now it is Steen in control, and Steen is going to go right to the F-Sank. He's going to go right to his F-Sank finisher. Sank, C-I-N-K, the French word for 5. And the pin roll here is going to be 4 or lower. And on a roll of 4, he got him. How about that? A big brawl between Steen and Slaughter in the ring, out of the ring. And Kevin Steen getting the best of Sergeant Slaughter as Slaughter tried to go up to the top rope. Steen pitched him to the canvas and dropped him with the F-Sank for the victory. So how about that win for Kevin Steen? And as a result of that victory, Sergeant Slaughter has been beaten, but he is getting to his feet, and he is showing Kevin Steen some respect. And they're going to have a conversation here as they're going to head out of the arena together. Even after that wicked brawl with Steen biting and Sergeant Slaughter using a steel chair. And after all of that, I think a measure of mutual respect has been earned by these two men. As Steen and Slaughter had a very rugged battle. Neither man pulled any punches, neither man asked any quarter, neither man gave none. And it is now Steen and Slaughter who are going to have a conversation on their way out of the ring area. So another interesting series of events there. Jay Randus now joins us in the chat room just in time for tonight's championship matches. We've got 2 matches remaining. Both of them are for the respective Pro Wrestling Mid-America Championships. And we will start with the Tag Team Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall, and this is for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Championship. 45-minute time limit will be in effect. Disqualification rules will be in effect. Introducing first the challengers. Number 1 from Woodland Hills, California. He stands at 6'2", weighs 240 pounds. This is Wilbur Snyder. Wilbur Snyder from the Tragos Thez Hall of Fame set 4. I don't know a lot about Wilbur Snyder, but he has a reputation as being a great performer, in particular in tag team action. So we have found him a suitable tag team partner, and these two, after a successful run, have earned their opportunity to wrestle for the championship here tonight in Dallas. The tag team partner now being introduced out of Perry, Oklahoma. Standing at 5'11", weighing 220 pounds, this is Danny Hodge. So Danny Hodge and Wilbur Snyder joining forces as a team to take on the reigning and defending Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Champions at a total combined weight of 515 pounds out of Algiers, Algeria. It is the Butcher and the Mad Dog, the VACHON brothers. So the brothers VACHON have earned the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Championship. They earned that with a victory over Magnum TA and Brad Armstrong. And now they face the challenge of Wilbur Snyder and Danny Hodge here in Dallas. As we get our championship dice warmed up, the black and gold, Mark Ferguson, joining us here in the chat room just in time for our first championship matchup of the evening. And it will be the Mad Dog, Maurice VACHON, starting things off against Wilbur Snyder for the challengers. And the opening initiative role is won by Wilbur Snyder. Snyder comes out for the opening lockup and immediately goes with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Mad Dog VACHON, and on a roll of 9, that is the power roll. And the power belongs to Wilbur Snyder. With the -1 power rating, Wilbur Snyder wins that collision in the center of the ring, and it is Snyder now in control with a hammerlock throw that takes the Mad Dog back over and down to the canvas again. Snyder now maintains control, and this time he's going to go with a whip to the turnbuckle. David Cheslinski now in the chat room. And on a roll of 11, it is Mad Dog VACHON bouncing off the turnbuckle and into an incredible neck-breaking clothesline delivered by Wilbur Snyder. Dynamic move there by Wilbur Snyder. He now has control with a chance to do some damage. He's going to go to the airplane spin. Around and around and around and down to the canvas hard goes Mad Dog VACHON. VACHON disoriented, looking for the tag, cannot get there. Instead, it's going to be Danny Hodge hitting the ring for a double team. And on a roll of 10, that is a deadly elbow smash delivered by Danny Hodge to the fallen Mad Dog VACHON. Mad Dog doesn't know where he is after that airplane spin. Of course, I think there are a lot of situations where Mad Dog VACHON doesn't know where he is. It is Hodge now in control, and Hodge coming out with a handstand knee drop. And again, Mad Dog going to try for the tag, and again, unable to get there. As Hodge maintains control with a series of boxing jabs. Lefts and rights being pummeled onto the head of Mad Dog VACHON. Still no tag able to be made, and now a big knee lift by Hodge stuns the Mad Dog. Mad Dog still desperately trying to make the tag, and finally is able to get there. And for the first time in this match, we will see Butcher Paul VACHON entering the contest. And it is a double team attack right away on Danny Hodge, and that's going to cost Danny Hodge a point of fatigue, and Danny Hodge is down. And now it is the Butcher going for the Hangman. This is a +1 finisher. So the pin roll here will be 5 or lower on Danny Hodge. And on a roll of 8, Hodge able to kick out. But Butcher now in control. Mad Dog coming back in for another double team. And on a roll of 8, it is an awesome double neck breaker delivered by the VACHON brothers to Danny Hodge. Mad Dog now remains in control, and it is Mad Dog with a gutbuster hard across the knee. Hodge slowly trying to get back up to his feet. Mad Dog stays on him, and it is the Mad Dog now with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Danny Hodge, and on a roll of 9, that's the power roll. And this time it is Mad Dog who has the power advantage, and Danny Hodge is knocked down to the mat. And VACHON is on him with a big backbreaker. Danny is hurt. Mad Dog stays on him, and now another bite to the forehead. Danny Hodge taking a mouthful of teeth to the forehead. Not able to get over and make the tag as the VACHONs will continue their double team attack. Oh, and this time it is a deadly, devastating double move, pounce by both men that is going to cost Danny Hodge another point of fatigue. He is in trouble here. And with 3 tokens of fatigue, it's going to be the partner Wilbur SNYDER trying to come in and intervene on behalf of his beleaguered partner. And on the roll of 11, what is going to happen? The opponent grabs you and your partner in a double noggin knocker. So Wilbur SNYDER tried to make the save. Butcher got them both and banged their heads together. And that's going to cost both of the challengers another point of fatigue. Butcher now with a chance to do some real damage. As Danny Hodge in big trouble here, and now we are going to go out of the ring and down to the arena floor. VACHON pitching Danny Hodge out of the ring, and on a roll of 9, it is Butcher VACHON dropping Danny Hodge throat first onto the steel security railing. Wow, Danny Hodge has taken a major beating in this match, and he is in trouble here. And now we go out of the ring again, does the Butcher. And again, and this time it's going to be Danny Hodge winning the brawl on the arena floor. Danny Hodge with a slam onto the announcer's table. That could cost the disqualification to his team. It will not. And now Danny Hodge has the opportunity to do some damage here. He goes with a standing drop kick. And Butcher VACHON immediately is able to dodge that. And Butcher VACHON takes back over again. And now it is Butcher with a big stomp attempt. That's an agility move. He missed that. And Danny Hodge fires back with a series of boxing jabs, and Butcher is stunned. He's going to look for the tag, unable to get there. Danny Hodge is able to make the tag to the freshman Wilbur SNYDER. Wilbur SNYDER coming now into the ring and in control against the Butcher with a hammerlock throw. Down to the canvas. Both men get to their feet. And now it is the Butcher attempting a neck wrencher. That's reversed by Wilbur SNYDER. And SNYDER with a flying head scissors takes Butcher VACHON over and down to the canvas. Butcher rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. But on a roll of 12, it is Wilbur SNYDER winning the brawl on the arena floor and slamming Butcher VACHON face first into the ring post. That may result in a count out on a roll of 4 or lower. And on a roll of 5, Butcher barely able to make it back to the ring. As Wilbur SNYDER now with a chance to do some damage, he's going to go for a short arm scissors, taking VACHON down to the canvas. SNYDER maintains the offensive with a knee drop. Both men now getting to their feet, and it is the Butcher trying for a stomp, unable to complete that on the agility roll, and it is SNYDER now with a big drop kick that again stuns Butcher VACHON. Butcher now going to try to make the tag to his brother. He is unable to do so. SNYDER maintaining control, going again for the airplane spin. Around and around and around and down to the canvas goes the Butcher. And now it is the Butcher's turn to get up, cross-eyed and goofy-legged. As SNYDER is on him with another hammerlock hammerlock throw. Butcher is down, and Danny Hodge is fresh enough now. He's going to come in for a double team, and on a roll of 7, it is a bone-crunching double clothesline delivered by the challengers that puts Paul VACHON, the Butcher, back down onto the canvas. Danny Hodge now going for the abdominal stretch. He can force a submission here on 5 or lower, and on a roll of 7, Butcher is able to withstand the abdominal stretch. What's Danny Hodge going to do now? He is going to go to a death jump. Up to the top rope goes Danny Hodge. And on a roll of 12, it is Hodge with a perfect cross body block off the top rope. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 6. Mad Dog going for the pin save, and on a roll of 2, the pin save is successful. And in fact, on a roll of 2, we go to the wrestler interference chart. And from the wrestler interference chart, what is Mad Dog going to do here? Now we've got all 4 wrestlers into the ring, and it's gut check time. Gut check time for both teams. And let's see. 0 to -1. The VACHON brothers win the gut check roll. due to the number of fatigue tokens experienced by Danny Hodge. So the VACHON brothers win the brawl. Butcher VACHON takes over on offense. And that does cost the VACHON brothers their first pin save of the match. What's Butcher going to do? He is going to go for a body slam. This is a choice D maneuver. Choice D. So on the power rating of +1, he is going to need 10 or lower to hit the body slam. And sure enough, on a roll of 8, he completes the body slam. And Danny Hodge once again is down. Butcher now with a chance to get a finish. He's going to go for the hangman. This is a +1 finish. The submission roll now 8 or lower. Wilbur Snyder going to try and make the save, and on a roll of 4, Wilbur Snyder is able to make the save. So the last pin save for the challengers has been exhausted. In comes Mad Dog for a double team, and on a roll of 8, it is an awesome double neck breaker delivered by the champions, and it is Mad Dog now in control on Danny Hodge, who is severely weakened. He goes to a maniacal chokehold. That's not just any chokehold, ladies and gentlemen. That is a maniacal chokehold, and only a maniacal Mad Dog like Maurice Vachon can pull that off. Vachon remains in control with a big backbreaker down across the knee. Hodge is hurt. He is down. And now it's going to be a jumping knee drop delivered by Mad Dog Vachon. This is a choice H maneuver. Choice H, he can either try an agility roll of 5 or lower. That's a bad idea. Or a death jump of A. That's not a good selection either way. But he's going to go for broke and go up for the death jump. And on a roll of 10, that is the agility struggle. And it is Danny Hodge who wins the agility struggle and throws Mad Dog down off of the top rope. Hodge now with a chance to rally. Hodge goes right to the Oklahoma side roll. That's a +1 finisher. Pin roll here 4 or lower. And on a roll of 6, Mad Dog able to kick out. And now Hodge is going to make the desperation tag to his partner, Wilbur Snyder. And the challengers get the fresh man back into the ring. Snyder now in control. The airplane spin again. Around and around, around and down. Wilbur Snyder goes for the cover. The pin roll here is 4. On a roll of 4, he may get him. Can Brother Paul make the pin save? No, he cannot. And ladies and gentlemen, new champions have been crowned here in Dallas as Wilbur Snyder gets the pinfall after the airplane spin on Mad Dog Vachon. How about that? New tag team champions crowned here in Dallas as Wilbur Snyder rescues Danny Hodge. Hodge took an incredible beating before finally escaping and making the tag to Wilbur Snyder, and Wilbur Snyder came in and took over and made the airplane spin and made the cover on the Mad Dog. And we have new tag team champions here in Pro Wrestling Mid-America. How about that? All right, great match there. And before our main event, a few things going on in the chat room. Let's get caught up with the chat room. Let's see. We said hello to Mark Ferguson. We said hello to David Cheslinski. Salvador, America. Welcome to you, sir. Philip Reynolds. Welcome to you, sir. Mark Ferguson went to his first ever Comic-Con. That sounds like fun. Saw a bunch of stormtroopers and a RoboCop and a Statue Man Gold E. Glover. I've never been to a Comic-Con. I used to go to Gen Con, which was a gaming convention in Indianapolis that had a lot of Comic-Con type elements to it in terms of guest stars and some of the cosplay that took place. Hope you enjoyed the experience, Mark Ferguson. Al Red Sox fan is here. Hello, Dave, and the chat says Al Red Sox fan. So welcome to you, Al. And I believe we got everybody. But before the main event, a couple of items of interest that I wanted to share. That was a very exciting tag team match. Almost almost as exciting as what we saw last night from my beloved Ohio State Buckeyes. Can I get an OH in the chat room? As the Buckeyes are moving on to the national championship after a stellar victory over the Texas Longhorns last night in Dallas. So the people in Dallas here are still stunned as the Buckeyes go down, and now new champions crowned in Dallas by virtue of the pinfall victory of the Mad Dog, or the VACHON brothers losing the titles after WILBUR SNYDER scored the pin on Mad Dog VACHON. Next question. I am curious, and I will give the reasons for this later, but I'm curious to know if anybody in the chat room happens to know who was the developer of the Dynasty League Baseball. I'm interested to know who developed the Dynasty League Baseball program, the board game, and the computer game as well. So if anybody knows the answer to that, please let us know. Also of interest to the chat, coming up in the month of May. I'm still trying to make plans for this, but there is a, speaking of conventions, the Digital to Dice convention in Mystic, Connecticut, or thereabouts, is happening in May, and I am, well, let's be perfectly honest. I'm very interested in attending. I haven't broken the news to Mrs. Little yet, and if I can get the, if I can pull this off and get agreement from my lovely bride to take a weekend off and go north, I may very well be in attendance at Digital to Dice Con. And if I attend, I am planning to bring enough Filsinger game paraphernalia to run a wrestling tournament at Digital to Dice Con 2025. And now we have our answer. Mike Cheslinski was the creator. David, is he any relation? Are you related to Mike Cheslinski, the creator of Digital Dynasty Baseball? And the reason I asked that is because I posed that question to ChatGPT, and that was the answer I got, and I wanted to be sure that that was accurate. So, David, when I saw you come in, I thought I would pose the question. I assume that there is some relationship between Mike and David, and would love to hear more about that. Okay. Let's see, we've covered Ohio State, we've covered Dynasty League Baseball, we have covered Digital to Dice Con 2025, and of course the granddaddy of them all in Denver in June is Play.con. David Cheslinski, not related to Mike. How about that? Okay. And yeah, in Denver in June of 2025 is Play.con. And I will definitely be going to that. And that's really the big reason why I'm sort of slow playing it for the May convention, because I'm already booked to go to the June convention. And my lovely wife is a great supporter of my gaming habits. I just don't want to take her for granted or take advantage of her good nature 2 months in a row. And so that's why I'm kind of slow playing my hand on the possibility of going to Mystic the month before I go to Denver. So in any event, if that pans out, there will be a Filsinger Games presence in Digital to Dice Con. And there's also some other Filsinger players up in that neck of the woods. That's a reasonable drive for Todd Jorshell. Some of you may have interacted with Todd Jorshell, who is a great guy, formerly of Filsinger Games. He no longer works for Filsinger Games. That was kind of a side hustle he was doing, and his family life and professional life no longer enabled him to do that. But I may reach out to Todd anyways and see if he would be interested in attending the thing simply as a fan and a spectator. Todd, very, very good dude. Does something in the hotel industry, because Todd for a lot of years was coordinating the events around the Filsinger game conventions around the Northeast. Todd also a loving husband and father, a scoutmaster. I think the time he spends with the Boy Scouts is very meaningful to him, and another reason why he doesn't have the capacity to maintain his side hustle with Filsinger games. Tim Dalton is also a big sports game player from the Filsinger community, and I might also reach out to Tim if I decide to go to Mystic. Tim is, I believe, in the Buffalo area, and I don't know my geography well enough to know if that would be within driving distance for Tim, but he would be another fun person to hang out with for a weekend. Turns out Cheslinski was a common Americanized name when Polish families from certain parts of Poland immigrated here. Not a fan of possibly cutting the PP cards to 2 from 3. Not sure I follow that last comment from Salvador, America. And Kathy Evans joins us. Okay, enough chit-chat. It's time for your main event of the evening. It's been an exciting show so far. We've seen our first match of the night broke down into a double disqualification. Then we saw a brutal battle that turned into a show of mutual respect, followed by new champions crowned in the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Division. And now, finally, it is time for your main event of the evening. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This match is for the Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger. From the Jersey Shore of New Jersey, standing at 6'5", weighing 253 pounds, this is Diamond Dallas Page. So Diamond Dallas Page making his way down to the ring. Very popular competitor here in Pro Wrestling Mid-America. His popular ratings have been on the rise month after month. But his opponent is also a very popular competitor no matter where he goes. And he is your reigning and defending PWMA heavyweight champion. He comes to you from Sarasota, Florida. Standing at 6'1", weighing 248 pounds, he is the one and only Macho Man, Randy Savage. And of course, many of you may have heard the stories of the matches these two had in WCW and how very difficult it was for them to work together. Not really due to any personality problems, but Macho Man Randy Savage was notorious for very thoroughly and carefully and thoughtfully and almost compulsively scripting his matches move for move from before the match even started. And Diamond Dallas Page was much more of a freewheeling, spontaneous, play the crowd, do what's working, improvise. Sort of, I don't want to say fly by the seat of the pants, but kind of work the crowd and respond to the dynamics of the match and the crowd. And so they had a tough time working together because they just had two very different styles in approaching their matches. But here we are, Macho Man and Diamond Dallas Page. We'll assume that they worked everything out backstage as the bell sounds, and we are ready for tonight's main event. And the opening initiative role is won by the Macho Man. And it is Savage coming right out with an attempt at a body slam. This is a choice C maneuver, choice C. So he will need a roll of 7 or lower to complete that. And on a roll of 11, Diamond Dallas Page powers his way out of the body slam attempt. And it is Page coming back with a Russian leg sweep that drops the Macho Man to the canvas. Diamond Dallas stays on him. Oh, big discus clothesline. Took Randy, the Macho Man Savage, out of his boots, and Savage immediately hits the canvas and rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And this is to the advantage of the Macho Man, who is an A-rated brawler. And on a roll of 3, it is Savage taking control on the arena floor with a pile driver onto the ring steps. Oh my goodness. The Macho Man not taking any prisoners here tonight, as he has already done his damage to Diamond Dallas Page. And now we're going to stay out of the ring for more action on the arena floor. And on a roll of 9, again, it is the Macho Man winning the brawl and ramming the back of Diamond Dallas Page into the ring apron. Dallas Page has already taken a pile driver and now a painful slam to the ring apron. And now Macho Man is going up for the flying elbow smash. This is a +3 finisher. The pin roll here is 6, and on a roll of 3, he got him. Just like that, Savage taking almost no time whatsoever to put away Diamond Dallas Page with the flying elbow smash for the win. And your winner, and still your reigning and defending Pro Wrestling Mid-America Heavyweight Champion, this is the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And now Savage is casting a stink eye at Hercules Hernandez at ringside. Savage has his sights set on becoming the #1 contender, but Hercules Hernandez, after winning the Buckeye Bowl, is first in line to get his hands on Pat Patterson, and these two may cross paths in the future. And in fact, here tonight they're going to get into a little bit of a jawing match and a couple of fingers to the chest, but quickly cooler heads will prevail, and this will not escalate into a full-fledged brawl. But these two men clearly got some professional jealousy and some rivalry already developing, as the newcomer Hercules Hernandez was here at ringside watching the Macho Man with a successful title defense here tonight in Dallas. Dave, do you use your favorites in your Fed? I go in cycles. I don't really have favorites per se. I love Ric Flair. I don't really care much for his bootleg card because I think his bootleg card is overpowered. I love Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson's bootleg card is, I don't think, strong enough. At least he doesn't win consistently enough to really get me enthused about using him. I had a run with Sting for a while, another of my perennial favorites. And Sting, of course, was taken out for good by an attack from Barry Windham, and that made for a very nice storyline. But the dice fell the wrong way for Sting. Those are historically some of my favorites. But yeah, just kind of how I feel about the cards, and as I have openings arise in my Feds, I look at what cards might be available and what cards I haven't used yet. I like to keep a cycle of cards moving through and not have the same cards over and over and over again. For my info, Buffalo is about a 7-hour drive to Mystic. Thank you for sharing that, David. I will reach out to Tim Dalton, another great guy, another great member of the Filsinger gaming community, one of the hosts of the Uncharted Territory podcast. Is Tim Dalton, and Tim also has a variety of interests. He is a big fan of Lords of Baseball. I believe he was playing last time he and I spoke. And it would be great to have a weekend with Tim in Mystic if he were so inclined. All right, I think that is everything. Just in time as my voice is giving out. So I will say thank you to everybody who joined us here tonight. Salvador America, David Cheslinski, Neil Lau, Kathy Evans. Let's see, who else was here earlier on? Mark Ferguson, Jay Randus, Philip Reynolds, Al Red Sox fan. Derek Bauman was here earlier tonight. Philip Reynolds, I believe I mentioned. And solo promoter Grandpa Choco. Thank you, Grant, as always, for tuning in. I believe that takes care of everybody. Good show tonight. Congratulations to Randy the Macho Man Savage for his successful title defense. And for the new Pro Wrestling Mid-America Tag Team Champions, Danny Hodge and Wilbur Snyder. And of course, tomorrow I will be back on the channel with the recording of my journey with Jesus, for those of you so inclined. And Heartland Championship Wrestling should be back on the channel next Saturday night. Until then, that's our stream, and I am out of here.